Tired of spending money on fad diets, weight loss drugs, and ineffective weight loss products? If you're looking for a way to lose weight and improve your metabolic health, Golo could be a great solution for you. The team at Golo created a patented all-natural dietary supplement called Release, which is clinically proven to work. Release is made of 7 plant-based ingredients and 3 key minerals that help to reverse insulin resistance and improve metabolic health. Release by Golo naturally stimulates your body's GLP-1 hormone production without synthetic and expensive meds that aren't always covered by insurance. This helps to curb appetite and balance blood sugar levels. More than 5,000 doctors have recommended Golo to their patients. It's a comprehensive weight loss solution that's safe, easy, and clinically proven to work. With taking just 1 to 3 Release capsules daily, you'll quickly get control of your metabolic health within 30 days. For a happier, healthier you, visit Golo.com to get started on a more energetic version of yourself and enjoy 10% off with the code KateCasey10. That's Golo.com, code KateCasey10 for 10% off. One more time, go to GOLO.com and use code KateCasey10 to join more than 5 million people who have switched to Golo as a better way to lose weight.
Don't miss Good American Family.
We have a little girl here for adoption.
She has dwarfism.
Starring Ellen Pompeo and Mark Duplass.
Something is off.
She's just a little girl. You think she's faking?
She has adult teeth. There are signs of puberty.
Inspired by the shocking stories that tore a family apart.
I don't know what's going on.
How old are you?
You should get a lawyer.
You have no idea how those people hurt this girl.
The Hulu original series, Good American Family, premieres March 19th, streaming on Hulu.
Welcome back for another episode of Reality Life with Kate Casey, and welcome back for this Saturday series episode. This is going to be one of those episodes that you're going to want to share. This story rattled me to the core. I was tagged in a post and I found ALLI, who actually lives close to me, and we share several friends in common. Now, a parasocial relationship is a one-sided relationship, often with a celebrity or maybe a media figure, where one person has a strong emotional connection to the other, but that other person is unaware of their existence. Social media influencers are often perceived as more relatable than celebrities because of their direct engagement with audiences. Unlike a celebrity, they can create a sense of community, authenticity, and accessibility. But sometimes that parasocial relationship can become obsessive with an excessive focus on an influencer's life and details. And what happens when boundaries get crossed? ALLI and Bobby TALLEY began their Instagram account, Traveling Newlyweds, as a way of sharing their love of travel, food, and photography. They aim to inspire couples to explore the world and share how traveling can be attainable, affordable, and doable. And over several years, they built relationships with tourism boards and hotels and built up their following and continue to share posts about their growing family. Well, one day, ALLI came across an Instagram post with a husband holding a dog that looked identical to their dog, which oddly shared the same name and also had been from the same small breeder. It mirrored her own post, even down to the caption. And it then led her to the account's main feed, which astoundingly had posts that had mirrored her business and personal account posts for more than 5 years. And recently, she's become aware of another account in which this person has also fixated on. This is truly a mind-bending story. Again, this is going to be one you're going to want to share with other people. It's one that has stayed with me for a couple days now. I want you to listen to it and I want you to think about it. And again, this is something, a wild conversation about fixation and social media and copycat culture. Here is my interview with ALLI TALLEY. ALLI, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Kate. This is honestly kind of the biggest accomplishment for me because I've loved you and followed you for so long. So I wish it was under different circumstances that I'm here, but I'll take it.
Oh, but it doesn't matter because through it, we're friends. So it all works out in the end. So this story really begins, I believe, with you just kind of opening a social media account that highlighted your life. So first, tell us a little bit of background about you and how you met your husband and beginning an Instagram account.
Yeah. So my husband and I met about 11 years ago and fell in love right away. Got married, and it was right around the time that I feel like social media, with Instagram in particular, was really taking off. And the idea of an influencer was still relatively new. We had a friend who is also local, and you probably know her. Her name is Summer, and she was running a big like wedding blog at the time. And I remember her Instagram was starting to take off, and she got to fly to Bora Bora and work for the Four Seasons. And I remember my husband and I saying like, wow, all she has to do is post a couple Instagram, posts about her time. And she has this amazing trip. Like, I think we could do something like that. And so we love traveling. We're like, let's make a travel Instagram account. Let's start documenting where we're going, because we had a few trips lined up, and just see if it takes off. And I think it was just serendipitous timing where there wasn't an algorithm yet. It was relatively easy for us to grow a following. And because travel blogging and all of that was still so new, we just entered it right at the right time. And it really, in a matter of about 6 months, I think we had built up to about 50,000 followers. And that was kind of all you needed at that time. It's like, okay, we're one of the big dogs now. And we did it. We ended up quitting our jobs ultimately and traveling all over and blogging, working with tourism boards, working with airlines. We had the name Traveling Newlyweds, which I think also was like our little niche where, newlyweds like to travel. They don't have kids yet. They're like young and wild and free. And so we got to go to some incredible destinations all over the world. And it was so fun. And then COVID hit and travel stopped. And I got pregnant, and it was instantly like, okay, what are we doing now? Do we change our handle? We built this audience, so many awesome relationships, and it really just kind of went on pause for a little while we had children and our lives slowed down. And my husband ended up getting like a real job again. And I did some social media part-time for brands and whatnot. But we still kind of kept up the Instagram. We never changed our name. We're still the Traveling Newlyweds. But now we say it's a mentality and not a time frame.
Yeah.
We have 2 little kids, and we've really morphed more into, we still do family travel. We've gone all over the world with our kids, but it's much less frequent now. Like we do maybe one big trip every 6 months, and then some weekend trips here and there. It's more accessible and fun and family friendly. And it's been such an amazing outlet for us. Like, I am such a people person. I love making new friends. It's, I honestly, like, I look at our followers, and we're not big by any means. We have around 75,000 followers. And in today's age, that's not that much. But it's a loyal and a small, sweet following where I engage with everyone. I talk to everybody that sends us a DM. I love the community that we've built. It's a lot of local families that I feel like have grown with us. It's the people that started following us right away, and their lives changed, and so they've grown and changed as we have as well. And it's always been like my fun little escape now, especially too that we're not doing it for work anymore. It's just a fun hobby for me to keep up with and engage with people. And it always felt so sweet and innocent and pure until recently,
So let's go through what happened when you were scrolling through Instagram one day.
Yeah. So this was a couple of years ago now. And I remember I was a little bit tipsy. So I remember scrolling through Instagram. It was National Dog Day. And I was just going through my stories. And I came across our dog breeders, and we got our dog Sally from some Bernedoodle breeders out in Illinois. Don't even ask me how we found them. It's so random and niche, but it's like this little Amish family. It's literally Bernedoodles of the open prairie is their name. And they're so sweet. Believe it or not, they're on Instagram, and they were reposting some stories from people that were sharing about their dog on National Dog Day. And I flipped through, and one of the stories caught my attention and made me stop. And at first I was like, am I just buzzed? What's happening here? But it was this guy that was holding a dog that looked identical to ours. Our dog's name is Sally. And the way he was holding the dog, the front porch that he was standing on, the way the porch was decorated, even like the caption that was on it looked word for word, same exact thing that I had said about our dog. Everything about it threw me off and felt like a deja vu moment of like, wait, that's not my husband. That's not my dog, but it looks just like them. And that dog's name is Sally, whatever. I click the story to see the profile. And I mean, I don't even have a word for how I felt in the moment, because from her profile photo to the like her little bio on the main page to every single post for dozens and dozens, I would say probably like 50 or 60 posts as you scrolled through, it was identical to my feed and my personal Instagram, not even Traveling Newlyweds, but I have a handle that I just have a private handle. Somehow this girl had found me and was following me. And every photo was a recreation of something that I've done with my family and at this time too, this was like 2017 where she was stealing content from me. Like in 2017, you posted everything you did, like there was no aesthetic. So it was anywhere from my best friend posing with enchiladas to weird, just like collage photos, to the day we bought our dog, to going to Vegas and posing in front of a random tree, to just the most niche, weird things. Our dog fell in the lake and my husband's bringing the dog out of the lake. Everything was exactly the same, but with her and with her boyfriend at the time and their dog, Sally. And same captions, everything identical and it went on for 5 years until I finally found out about it.
So the first photo that she has mirrored of yours is in 2017?
It goes back. The first one, I believe, was even 2016.
Okay.
Yeah. And I didn't find out about this until 2022. So she'd been doing it for quite some time. Yeah.
So the first photo that she mirrors is from your personal account or from the Traveling Newlyweds?
From my personal account.
And what was that picture of?
Oh, the first one, I believe it was a photo from a restaurant in the area called Eat Chow. And it was like my friend and I went and they had like a mimosa flight at the time. And it was a photo of me with the mimosas and her with her mimosas collaged together. And this girl had done the same photo with their mimosas and some weird caption. That was the other thing about it too, is like my captions were so embarrassing. And this girl was posting all of that.
And it's the same exact caption.
Same exact caption. And what's so crazy too is we didn't realize this until just recently, is most of it was down to the same day too. So say I posted this on April 7th, 2017, she would post it April 7th, 2021 or whatever.
So she would do it in a different year, but on the same exact day that you had done it the previous year.
She would do it the same day as me. It would just be like 5 years later.
Wow. I love the look of luxury, but knowing that I got it at a great price. And I feel like you're like me too. And that's why I know you're going to love Quince. Quince is my go-to for luxury essentials at affordable prices. I get DMs all the time. Where did you get that sweater? I'm telling you, I got it at Quince. You know why? They offer high quality items at prices within reach. And the best part, all Quince items are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. So they do this by partnering directly with top factories. So Quince cuts the cost of the middleman and then passes the savings on to us. And the best part, it only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices. And who doesn't love that? In fact, the thing you need to get right now are the toasted almond silk pajamas. It's a beautiful gift for someone in your life or just for yourself. So give yourself the luxury you deserve with Quince. Go to quince.com/KKC for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/KKC to get your free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/KateCasey. Did you know that Fast Growing Trees is the biggest online nursery in the U.S. with thousands of different plants and over 2 million happy customers? They have all the plants your yard needs, like fruit trees, privacy trees, flowering trees, shrubs, and so much more. Whatever plants you're interested in, Fast Growing Trees has you covered. You can find the perfect fit for your climate and space. Fast Growing Trees makes it easy to get your dream yard. You order online and get your plants delivered directly to your door in just a few days, without ever leaving home. Their Alive and Thrive guarantee ensures your plants arrive happy and healthy. And plus, you get support from trained plant experts on call to help you plan your own landscape, choose the right plants, and learn how to care for them. For example, I knew that I was in the growing zone 10 and I picked out the most perfect lemon tree. It's so cute. It makes me so happy every time I walk outside. This spring, they have the best deals for your yard, up to half off on select plants and other deals. And listeners to this show get 15% off their first purchase when using the code Kate Casey at checkout. That's an additional 15% off at fastgrowingtrees.com using the code Kate Casey at checkout. fastgrowingtrees.com, code Kate Casey. Now's the perfect time to plant. Use Kate Casey to save today. Offer is valid for a limited time. Terms and conditions may apply. Of that first post, the Eat Chow, and we can only guesstimate at this point, but what do you think was the first, interaction or post that she saw of yours that sort of captured her attention? I mean, do you think maybe she was sitting beside you at the restaurant, or do you think she was scrolling through? Like, how could she have come across your picture?
I really have no idea, Kate. That's such a good question. I wish I could just scroll through my feed with you right now and show you all of my posts, because nothing about it is that cool. And that's where my husband and my friends, we would just laugh. We'd be like, why didn't you pick someone cooler? Because it was just nothing about it was that special. And maybe that's why she felt like it was approachable. Like it was just, me around town in Orange County doing these very basic everyday things, beach picnics, walks on Balboa Island, shopping at Fashion Island. I don't know. It was just the most mundane posts. But some of it would be so dumb. Like at the time, my husband and I had a partnership with LaCroix. And so we would go to Target and we'd buy, 20 cases of LaCroix. And this was when LaCroix was new and really exciting and the it drink. And we'd stack LaCroix boxes in the back of our trunk, and I'd have my husband pose with our LaCroix, in the Target parking lot. And it would be a very niche caption of we're working with LaCroix and we love LaCroix and blah blah blah. And he'd be wearing an almond surfboard hat. He'd be wearing very specific things.
Wow.
And she would have her boyfriend. She posed him in the back of their trunk with all the same LaCroix. Almond surfboards hat,
oh, dear
same
God.
caption. So weird. I mean, even Valentine's Day is one of the ones that sticks out to us the most. Is my husband loves the little cheese balls that you get in one of those big tubs.
Sure.
And they're so gross
cheese
and so
puffs.
bad for you. And it always drives me nuts that he likes those. But so for Valentine's Day, one year we were broke. We were newly married. I bought him, that was his Valentine's Day gift, was a big tub of cheese balls. And I posted him on our porch with his cheese balls with a really sappy, weird caption. And she posed her boyfriend with big tub of cheese balls. Poor guy for Valentine's Day. Same caption that was so niche to us. Just the weirdest stuff.
And it's a mirrored caption. Again, it's the same
mirrored
caption.
Every caption was mirrored. The only time she would change a caption was if, we're at a wedding, and there's another one where we went to our friend's wedding. And at the time, the girl that was getting married loved pressed and her husband loved stocks. And so our husbands, we bonded over pressed juicery and our husbands bonded over stocks. So my caption was congratulations to the happy couple. We love you more than pressed and stocks. She went to a wedding, posted a photo with the bride, mirrored caption, we love you more than pressed and stocks. Which
oh
what do you
God.
think the bride thought? She was probably oh, thanks. Cool. So, I can laugh about it now. It honestly was really alarming when this was all
It's terrifying.
new, because I also had children and new little baby at the time. And because of her close proximity and the fact that several of her photos were taken literally houses down from mine, and our neighbors had seen her and her boyfriend walking their dog past our house. That's the one thing that has been good of this is her dog, a big Bernedoodle, is very noticeable. I mean, I guess now more and more people that kind of breed has become popular, but a couple of years ago, even you didn't see Bernedoodles very often. So, once we kind of found out about this and we're on high alert, if anybody ever saw a Bernedoodle, they'd tell us and we could kind of keep our awareness levels of where they were at. But yeah, it was pretty startling finding out about all of this.
At what point do you say to your husband, and something is alarming, and how do you broach this to him? Because I'm assuming a partner would first feel like enormously protective, and then also fearful because it's crossing this weird boundary with a stranger. So it's this complicated thing.
I was like kind of tipsy. I think I'd had like a couple glasses of wine. So I went to my husband right away. I was laying in bed and I got out of bed. He was in the living room watching TV. And I just paused the TV. I was like, Bobby, you need to look at this. Am I going insane? I was shaking. I was literally holding my phone shaking. I was like, what is this? Who is this? Is this a joke? What is going on? And he, I mean, again, we're in social media, like we've seen it all. We've had other instances, but nothing weird to this extreme. And it took him a little while of like, wait, what did she do? Wait, who, what is, and it took a moment for him to kind of understand. But then, yeah, he was alarmed. And his first question was, have you reached out to her? And I told him, no, I haven't said anything, whatever. And he was like, good, I don't like, this girl has been following you for obviously a really long time. She's infatuated with you. The last thing you do is give her the satisfaction of you, communicating with her. We need to be really strategic with what we do here.
Did you go to her followers? Did you see anyone that you knew in common? And then did you do like a cursory, like a Google search to figure out anything about her? And for the sake of privacy, we will refer to her as May. That is not her real name.
Yeah. So yes, good. So May, we did actually have one mutual follower, and it was our realtor. And I immediately, and she's one of our close friends, I immediately called her and was like, who is this girl? What, can you tell me anything about her? And it came out through our realtor. She's like, she approached me. I've never heard of her. Don't have any mutual relationships with her. But she was like, she did just help her mom. She reached out to me on behalf of her mom to buy her a home in a neighborhood literally blocks from my parents' neighborhood. So that's an even creepier thing, is like, somehow she knew through my posts where my parents live. And maybe that one was purely coincidence, but at this point, I don't think so. And our realtor helped her mom buy a home just across the way from my parents. So that's a fun thing.
Where did May live in distance to you?
She probably lived 8 miles at that time from me. So yes, she was driving down to take her dog for a walk in our random residential neighborhood that was nowhere near hers.
Did you have neighbors that said, yes, we did see somebody with a Bernedoodle sort of walking up and down your street over time?
Yeah, because we had one of our good neighbors, Cammie, one of our next door neighbors. She's like a best friend of ours. She was like, I see this Bernedoodle all the time. Have you guys seen it? It looks just like Sally. She'd always talk about this Bernedoodle that she'd seen. And Bobby and I are always like, no, we haven't seen it. We need to. We need to, our dogs need to meet. So it was always this thing. And then we put it together that it was
Imagine
May.
if you had met.
I know.
I mean, when you saw the picture of May, what was your first reaction? Like, I've seen this person, or did it feel like a complete stranger?
Yeah, I did. First reaction was a complete stranger. And then as I started to look closer, I realized like I had interacted with her a couple of times. She had DM'd us a few times asking questions about like a specific location that we were at. Again, totally normal. And I was always interacting with whoever commented or sent DMs. So it was nothing that would have ever been flagged to me. But then looking back, it was like, oh, she was asking about this random, hotel in South Dakota because we took a picture there and then she went there. Like she as she recreated a lot of my normal everyday content, but then as we started traveling more and did more things out of Orange County, she went there. So South Dakota, Cabo, Bahamas, really random niche places. I mean, we also worked with tourism boards in a lot of really small towns, like this one small town in South Dakota. And I would post about it. And she went there. She recreated that trip. And actually, at the time when we found out, her stories were live at that time. And she was in Sun Valley recreating a trip that we had done with a partnership with Sun Valley 5 years ago to that day. So everything she was posting, recreating all of our stories even that had been highlighted so she could follow along with them and recreate them. But
so she's taking the picture and mirroring your experience. Is she also contacting these tourism boards to try to work out some sort of deal? Because she has a small following.
No, yeah. She never, from what we are aware of, she never contacted anyone there. We know that she obviously contacted our dog breeders and requested a dog that looked like Sally. And from what they told us, she had to wait a little while because she was really particular on getting the coloring just right. But when it came to like our trips, no, she never contacted them. But her posts would literally be, because she would she started recreating just my personal content, but then she would kind of dip her toes into traveling newlyweds too. And every once in a while comment or post something with a caption that was identical to what we did on traveling newlyweds. And so, yeah, like in that circumstance, she went to Sun Valley and tagged Sun Valley, put all the hashtags that she was supposed to do. She wouldn't put hashtag sponsored, but everything else that we would put in there for our partnership, she would tag too, as though she was on a trip with them.
Do we know anything about May personally? Is there a certain industry that she works in or anything that could give us better context for how her fixation may have begun or how it was, how her fixation may have begun and how she may have been able to recreate some of the pictures?
I don't know much. I think she comes from family money. I think and given the just most recent copying that she's been doing with with another influencer, she'd have to, because she was doing very elaborate mirroring of this other girl. I know that at one point she worked like for a law office, which my husband did. So we did end up contacting her because I immediately blocked her on everything. And then after getting the cops involved, because she wasn't stopping, cops basically were like, we'll talk to her. Our local PD was like, this is the weirdest, craziest story we've ever heard. They're like, this belongs in a documentary. But they were like, unfortunately, it's kind of the Wild West when it comes to these cyber stalking. Like, unless you have physical evidence of her on your doorstep, even though she was very close to your home, there's not much we can do. You're not really going to be, you won't be granted a restraining order or anything like that yet. But they're like, you can contact her and ask her to stop. We will show up to her house and ask her to stop. But that's about all we can do. And so I actually don't know if they ever did that. I assume that they did, but she didn't stop. And so my husband ended up finding her phone number and calling her. And the phone call, they went around in circles for forever. She basically denied it all for a while, and then eventually kind of broke down, but just kept saying, I'm not doing anything nefarious. I am not doing anything nefarious. And I think she's being really careful about what she was saying. She works in that world, and she probably is well aware that she doesn't have to stop. Like, we can't take any legal action against her. And it wasn't really until my husband brought up our kids that it almost seemed like she kind of understood a little bit. And just saying, like, we're scared for our family. Like, you have gone to such great lengths to copy us. Say you can't get pregnant. Would you try to take one of our children? Like, would you name your child after ours? Like, this is where it gets too scary for us. And we'll take every action against you that we can. And And she ended up like agreeing to stopping, but it took a while. And she stopped with me, but then she kept doing it with others. So,
well, when Bobby calls her and he says, "Hi, this is Bobby," is she like, "Oh, hey, what's going on?" Like old pals, or is she panicked?
Panicked. She was very panicked on the phone. Yeah.
Wow.
And he was, I mean, Bobby was panicked. Bobby was shaking, talking to her.
Yeah, it's terrifying, I feel.
Yeah.
I can only imagine in the quiet moments of your day that you get into a car or, you're packing up stuff for the kids and you're looking out the window and you have to wonder, is she watching me right now? You're driving in your car. Is she driving behind me? You're at Fashion Island. Is she walking a couple yards behind me? Is there any place where I feel like I am without someone watching every move I have? And is my life my own when there's somebody who has recreated scenes of my life? And if so, why are they doing it? What is about me? And is there a reason there's a fixation, and will this fixation spiral into something worse?
Totally. Yes. No, it was so alarming. I mean, I think I kept our windows and blinds down for months because I was just terrified of somebody seeing inside our home. We thankfully had moved at that point. So as far as I know, she doesn't know where we live now. And we had cops patrolling our neighborhood every night because I couldn't sleep. I was so scared and paranoid. Literally everywhere I went, I was looking over my shoulder. Anyone that I saw that had the same color hair as her, like same kind of build as her, literally set me like I would panic. I would freak out and pause. And it's a really icky feeling to not feel safe or to drop your kids off at school and do any of these normal everyday things, but to feel like, are we okay? Is somebody after us? Is somebody following us? And Orange County is small, like big, maybe, I guess we're a big city, but it feels very small. Run into people everywhere you go. So even like a couple nights after we had found out about all of this and it was still very new, we were getting ready to go to a brewery to meet some friends. And a friend that was there said, "Hey, just so you know, May's boyfriend is here right now with a group of people." And I freaked out. Bobby was like, "Let's go. I want to talk to him," And I panicked. I started sobbing. I was like, "We can't go. I don't want to see them. This is too fresh. Please don't go." And we didn't. And honestly, now I wish we had. I wish Bobby would have gone and just like talked to this guy because we don't think that her boyfriend has any idea what she is doing. If he does, I mean, then that's insane. And it already is insane. So who knows? But yeah, it was really paralyzing. And then even for us, we were still traveling. We still had partners. We still had obligations with our travel account. But we totally changed the way we posted, like nothing in real time anymore. We took down every photo on my personal Instagram and on Traveling Newlyweds that would ever remotely give a hint as to where we lived or where our kids went to school, or, our church, anything that felt too close to comfort. Like we were so scared. I mean, we honestly kind of went dark for a while and didn't post anything at all. But then we're also like, this girl can't own us. We can't live in fear forever either, you know? So it's been a weird one to walk through.
This show is sponsored by Liquid IV. Now, I've said that my goal this year is to stay more hydrated. You can gift yourself the everyday indulgence of extraordinary hydration from Liquid IV, powered by Live Hydroscience. They've got true to fruit flavors that keep you hydrated. And you can find all your favorite hydration multiplier flavors on their website. I have to say my favorite flavor is the sugar-free raspberry lemonade because it's a bright, zero sugar flavor combining notes of ripe, freshly picked raspberries and citrusy, zesty lemon. And it really gets me going on my day. I think you're going to love it too. I like feeling like I'm hydrated all day long. And if you're somebody who's outdoors or plays sports, this is an absolute must-have. You can break the mold and own your own ritual. Just 1 stick and 16 ounces of water hydrates better than water alone. It's 3 times the electrolytes of the leading sports drink. And also 8 essential vitamins and nutrients, always non-GMO, vegan, gluten-free, dairy-free, and soy-free. Treat yourself to extraordinary hydration from Liquid IV. Get 20% off your first order of Liquid IV when you go to liquidiv.com and use code Kate Casey at checkout. That's 20% off your first order with code Kate Casey at liquidiv.com. You know that feeling when your kids seem to ask you for a new snack every 3 minutes, but you're sick of giving them junk-filled options? This is why I love Thrive Market, my go-to online grocery store for getting all of my healthy essentials delivered, and I don't even have to leave my couch. And I don't know about you, but I want to be able to pronounce the ingredients on my kids' snack labels. There are over 10,000 food additives allowed in the US, and it's hard to know what's actually safe to eat. Again, another reason why I love Thrive Market. It's the no-junk online grocery store that bans over 1,000 harmful ingredients. So like imagine this. My kids love Doritos. Now I can get them Late July Garden Ranch tortilla chips, and it is a dream. And guess what? I'm just tipping the iceberg here. There is so much more. With their online filters, it's going to make it simple to shop by the needs of everyone in your family. And trust me, I get it. We all have things that we love to eat. So get ready to make the switch. Go to thrivemarket.com/Kate Casey for 30% off your first order plus a free $60 gift. That's THRIVE market.com/Kate Casey, thrivemarket.com/Kate Casey. Now, you kind of, forget about this because you've moved to a new home and, you're moving forward on things, and then someone else approaches you with their own story. What happens with that?
Yeah. So she stopped. We blocked her on everything. Life moved on. I had another baby. We've been really busy. We both have little part-time jobs, and then we're still traveling with our kids and with school and everything else. Like it's just out of sight, out of mind. That feels like so long ago. And then a few days ago, I opened up my DMs, and it's something that I had highlighted very, very faintly on Instagram. I had posted some stories when it happened because everyone was like, "Where did you go?" We went dark for a little while. And I finally explained as best I could about the incidents and not expecting to have a big reaction, but our followers are freaking out about it. And it's something where I was just like, oh my goodness, I opened up a can of worms. I got so sick of people asking about it all the time that I just stopped answering questions about it. And so we still do get DMs quite a bit from people like, has your stalker showed up? What's going on with your stalker? And so I opened up my DMs the other day and I had a random DM from a girl that I didn't know talking about a stalker. And I just read it briefly and was like, oh, it's another question about the stalker. And I don't feel like answering this right now. And so it wasn't until later that day where I had some time and I was responding to some people, and I went in and read her message to me more in depth. And it was basically like, hi, a follower sent me to you. I was just made aware of this girl that's been mirroring my life on social media for the past year. And I think it's the same person that was doing it to you. And I really need to talk to you right away. And so I immediately, it was like the feeling of when I found this May the first time, like started shaking, like, no, like, I can't believe this. And so I called this girl. I was on my way to school pickup, and I had to stop the car. I was like, I'll be late. I don't care. They can find me. I need to hear about this. And sure enough, this girl, May, found an influencer in Georgia across the country. So she probably felt safer to her. And for the past, year and a half has been replicating this girl's life. This girl was in a similar, was pregnant. May is now pregnant. This girl had a baby, named the baby Lennon, talked all about her postpartum depression, really openly and vulnerable on Instagram, went on a really elaborate baby moon to 4 seasons, stayed in like a suite, did the whole 9 yards. She's very much like a fashion influencer, very different than me. I would like tag my outfits occasionally, but this girl is wearing, has a beautiful bod. She's showing off all her dresses, linking to LTK, all of that. And May just took on this girl's existence. She got pregnant. She wore all the same dresses, talked about linked everything through the same baby shower, nursery down to the wallpaper, identical.
Oh my Lord.
To this, the influencer's name is Gretchen. Gretchen was saying how her wallpaper was like a Dutch designer, that like a Dutch artist, very niche, very hard to find. She's like, honestly, I have no idea how May found this wallpaper because it's so random and so unique. But then May ended up even naming her child Lennon, same name as Gretchen. Same everything. They went on the same baby moon, stayed in the same suite at the Four Seasons in Cabo. And then even shared everything that Gretchen had shared personally about her postpartum depression, word for word. May was sharing those same posts talking about her journey. Yeah. Even her baby announcement, where she's talking about birth and what she'll remember most about her birth, word for word, what Gretchen wrote, introducing her baby, May wrote. And it's really just, that's where it's so heartbreaking, is it's like everything that this new mom now has penned to her baby nothing is her own. It is all words directly from someone else, down to the name, everything is just this mirrored copy. And that's where it's so sick and it's so sad and twisted. And it's crazy because it's something that we would always talk about, of like, what would stop her from having a baby and naming her baby Jude or Reese like our kids and doing whatever. And we'd kind of joke of like, well, at least she might name her dog Sally, but she's not going to name her kids after our kids. Like, little did we know what this girl was actually capable of, and that she would go and do this. And this poor new mom is, thank goodness she's across the country. She feels a lot safer than I do now. But thank goodness she found out about this, and how alarming for her to suddenly be made aware of this. It's beyond. It's really crazy. It's really sad. And there's obviously something really wrong mentally with her.
How did Gretchen find out? Because a year and a half, it's surprising how quickly she picked up on it. And May is somebody who lives in California and does not have a big following. So how was she able to pick up on that when she's in California or in Georgia?
Someone that followed us and also followed May, watched May evolve over the years, had seen what she had done with us, that whole saga, and then had seen May get pregnant and start to post these things that she was like, she's copying someone else. There is no way.
Wow.
From the dresses to the baby moon to everything, she was like, there is no way that this is May. And so she reverse image searched the images that May was posting and found Gretchen that way. And so then she reached out to Gretchen and said, hey, you don't know me, but I think you need to be aware of this girl that's doing this to you. I saw her do it to some other influencers that I follow. And that's how it all started. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. I'm grateful for this very astute follower.
I know.
Because if she hadn't noticed that and really paid attention to this, how long would that have gone on?
Who knows? That's where it's like, you have no idea. If it could have been multiple children. It's sick and twisted how far it went. But thank goodness she found out, because we just have no idea.
Now, when you think about this, and we could go in circles about this because we don't have the advantage of talking to May, but it makes me wonder if there was a fixation on people that predates this. And did the opportunity to fixate become greater because of the ability to peek into someone's life through Instagram or TikTok or any social media? So it's almost the perfect place for someone who is devoid of their own sense of self, who has massive insecurities, has some lurking mental health issue perhaps, where they want a new identity. And they look at someone else on Instagram and they see what truthfully is a curated version of all of our worlds. Obviously we're not going to be posting every little, micro moment of our lives, but, we allow people to get a peek. And this is somebody who took it too far. So it just makes you wonder. And I wonder if in time this will stop, or she'll just find someone else to fixate on. And the most haunting thing I think you have brought to my attention is that she could be married right now to someone, the father of her children, who has no idea that most of these moments that he's having with her, and a lot of it is built around taking a picture, a curated picture, is because she's mirroring someone else's life, and he is therefore living through someone else's lens as well. That he in time may find this truth out and second guess his marriage, his life, the experiences he's had with his children, because they were not really of his own. He was in part participatory in an act of mirroring someone else's life.
Yeah, totally. No, it's so sad. And it's so weird too, because when you scroll through her feed, she has friends. Like she's every post that we would post with other people, she was going to baby showers just like we were. She was doing beach picnics just like we were. Her friends would comment and say, that was really fun. It was weird how you posed us like this, but we liked the picture. Like her friends would kind of call her out on whatever she was trying to create. But that's where it's like, obviously, yes, she's mentally well. She has deep insecurity, deep self-worth issues. And that is so sad. But it's also like, but you had friends. You had community. Mm-hmm. You had a loving boyfriend that's now your husband. You have a beautiful baby. Like, why can't these be your moments?
Yeah. Yep.
Mm-hmm. It's so sad.
Have any of her friends reached out to you? Or do you think they may still have no idea what's going on?
I think that most of her close friends probably have no idea. I have been in touch with a few girls from her sorority, which they've all kind of come out of the woodwork recently. And they've all basically said, like, we always thought she was off, but this is really, really next level. So, and that's not all they've said. They've been very careful what they tell me about her, but it's been nice to have, some other people that follow her and are around her that can even just kind of keep tabs on her, like for Gretchen's sake, for my sake, to make sure that she's not doing anything else anymore.
And nothing specific from them, just that she just felt a little off.
Yeah, just that kind of a weird girl, kind of stuck to herself, but nice. And yeah, nothing like alarming.
What a crazy story. Unbelievable. Listen, I think the truth is this. When we tell our stories, it releases the shame that we have. The shame should be on the person that pushes our boundaries or does something that's deceitful or dishonest, or in this case, inappropriate. And I hope that you feel like you're taking some of your power back and telling it.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for letting me. I mean, it's weird to be talking about it now because it was something that happened a couple of years ago, obviously kind of blocked it out. And I didn't think it was something that I would ever really share, mostly because of her proximity to us and wanting to be and feeling scared. But I'm happy to finally be sharing it because I think we all need just to be aware that you have no idea. I mean, this was my personal account too. Most of what she did was my private personal Instagram. I don't know how she started following or what I did to approve, but I think we've all kind of been there where, that looks like a harmless person. They can follow me, just have no idea what they're capable of.
And most people I think are good. It's just, that's the scary part, is that sometimes the stranger actually can be quite evil. And they may present as somebody who looks like a loving parent, someone in your community who you'd see at preschool drop-off or at the store or your church or whatever it may be. And I think that's the scariest part of all.
Totally. Yeah, I know. And so it's just a good reminder for me, even now, of I need to be so careful what I post when it's proximity to my home, to kids' school. I'm always so careful now to block out anything that might say their school name or might say like a street name or something like that. I'm so much more aware. Yeah. And that's good. I should be.
I can't tell you how grateful I am. Tell everybody where they can follow you.
Yes, it's at traveling_newlyweds. But if you just search Traveling Newlyweds, you'll find us.
So grateful for your time. Thank you.
Thank you, Kate.
The amazing Kate Casey.
I want to thank my fantastic guest, ALLI TALLEY, and remind you to click subscribe to this podcast because every Saturday I will bring you the most interesting personal stories. And if you have someone you want to recommend, please let me know who that person may be. And of course, the rest of the week, I'm going to tell you what to watch in unscripted TV. Of course, you can get that list of what to watch in unscripted TV by going to katecasey.substack.com and just sign up for that. But also, I'm going to bring to you the interviews with the talent, the executive producers, the directors of unscripted TV. So the most favorite reality shows and documentaries. And then if you want bonus episodes, you can go to Patreon, patreon.com/KKC. And I will have more about this story on my Patreon. And then lastly, please follow me on social media. I'm on Instagram at @KKCCA, TikTok, it's KKC, and Twitter and Blue Sky and everything else at @KKC. And I encourage you, again, to check back for all new episodes next week, but also take a look through all of the episodes that I've done in the last week because I've really had some outstanding guests.
And now, a next-level moment from AT&T Business. Say you've sent out a gigantic shipment of pillows, and they need to be there in time for International Sleep Day. You've got AT&T 5G, so you're fully confident. But the vendor isn't responding, and International Sleep Day is tomorrow. Luckily, AT&T 5G lets you deal with any issues with ease, so the pillows will get delivered and everyone can sleep soundly, especially you. AT&T 5G requires a compatible plan and device. Coverage not available everywhere. Learn more at att.com/5G network.